All right, guys, super quick one this week. We have Rose Namajunas taking on Amanda Ribas in this week's UFC main event. So let's just go through the records and then see how these two are going to match up against each other. So Rose Namajunas was the she was the strawweight champion at 115 pounds, and she beat Zhang Wei Li in a pretty sweet 2-0 kind of circuit that they were doing against each other. She head kicks her in round one and then wins a split decision, going the full distance in their rematch. Then she fights Carla Esparza in my opinion, one of the greatest title fights of all time, just because of how surreal it was. What is the total number of strikes that they landed? I don't know, but it was really funny. She just did nothing. She just danced around Carla the entire time, super afraid of her takedowns, and ends up losing a split decision because neither fighter really does anything. Then she grapples Jillian Robertson, gets choked out by her. Then she comes back and moves up a weight class to 125 pounds and fights Manon Fiorot and loses a unanimous decision. She kind of just got out physicaled there. She moved up a weight class and Manon was pretty significantly bigger than Rose. And even though Rose won a round on two of the three judges' scorecards, she still lost the decision ultimately. And now she's fighting Amanda Ribas. Amanda has had a bit of a up and down run in the UFC. You can see her record lately has literally been just trading wins and losses. So she armbars Paige Van Zandt in 2020, pretty good win. Then she gets knocked out bad against Marina Rodriguez. That was the fight where she got basically knocked down twice because the referee, there's like a boxing stoppage. The referee let her get back up and then got knocked down again. Then she fights Virna Jandiroba. She kind of gets out wrestled by Virna in round one, but then she just beats her back in rounds 2 and 3 with the striking. So that was a pretty good performance from Ribas. I thought her striking improved in that fight. Then she fights Caitlin Chookagian, or formerly Caitlin Chookagian, currently Caitlin Sermonara, and loses a split decision. Just a pretty close fight striking wise between the two. She fights Viviana Araujo, just outstrikes her. Then she fights Maycee Barber. That was a crazy fight where she just got kind of the shit beaten out of her, and she just went balls to the wall. And then she just is coming off a win, beating Luana Pinheiro, and I actually haven't seen that fight, but she knocks her out in round 3. So she's fighting Rose Namajunas. Who's going to actually win this fight? Well, I think that we have a pretty good idea of both of these fighters. Amanda and Rose are kind of known quantities in the sport. So if we predict, whoever gets this prediction wrong just isn't doing a good job of analyzing what these two fighters are bringing to the table. Amanda Ribas, she comes in guns blazing. She always fights the same, whether she's fighting against Marina Rodriguez, Caitlin Sermonara, Virna Jandiroba. It's just aggro, hard punches in your face the entire time. Sometimes that wins her fights against fighters like Jandiroba or Araujo, and sometimes that loses her fights against hard hitters like Maycee Barber, Marina Rodriguez, and just good technical strikers like Caitlin Sermonara. Rose Namajunas, on the other hand, she has really good skills. She does have a X factor, which I would say is her wrestling. We've seen her wrestling increase against Zhang Wei Li, and also starting to beat Manon Fiorot with wrestling. Not really starting to beat her, but utilizing wrestling to take Manon down and holding her up against the cage. And also, funnily enough, she was kind of out wrestling Carla Esparza when they did engage in any kind of physical contact at all. We know that Rose Namajunas is a great striker, knocking out Zhang Wei Li, outstriking Jessica Andrade to a split decision, knocking out Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and then knocking her out again. She just has really good striking, great footwork against Manon Fiorot. She was striking with her, and her striking was what won her. I think it was round 3. She was also like far and away the better striker against Carla, but that was just such a weird fight where neither fighter was willing to engage at all. So it's extremely hard to actually judge who won that fight just because nothing happened. Still worth a watch. It's just such a crazy fight. So Amanda Ribas is going to be engaging with Rose. Rose is going to have to use her footwork. She does have really good footwork. I think that Rose's footwork is better than Amanda's. I think her wrestling is better than Amanda's, even though Amanda has good jiu-jitsu. I think that Rose is just going to have better wrestling, controlling her on the ground, controlling her up against the cage, and kind of just winning rounds that way. And I think that Amanda's just going to be coming after her and just eating a lot of big strikes from Rose. And ultimately, I am going to predict Rose is going to finish her in the third or the fourth round. I'll predict a third round TKO / knockout for Rose Namajunas. And so far, my predictions have been going pretty much 50%. I would say that on the bigger fights where I'm putting more thought behind it, I'm doing better, but obviously that's a very small sample size. So hopefully we can get this prediction ship back on the road in the right course, and we can ride out a good prediction streak into UFC 300, where I'll be breaking down Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want more content like this. Enjoy the fights, and have a great day.